Welcome grade 10s. Today we are doing paper 2. This is a June 24 paper, 2024 paper, Gauteng paper, and this is question 1, trigonometry. So we're doing question 1.1. Question 1.1 says determine the length of AB. So we see we have A here, and then here's B. So this is the formula there. This is the formula. So we have the x coordinate, comma, y. And so since this is A, this will be x with a small a there and a small b there. And then here again we have x, comma, y. And this one is b. So you have to know your formula. This is the formula for finding the length. So make sure that you know your formulas. So we have, let's substitute now. We will have the square root of xa, x is negative 5, minus xb is 4, squared, plus ya is 2 minus yb is negative 2 squared. Okay, now let's simplify this. It's going to be the square root of negative 9 squared plus 4 squared, and then this is going to be 9 squared, we know is 81, plus 4 squared is 16. If you add this, you get 97. You can leave it here as the square root of 97, or you can get your calculator and put the answer in decimal form. Okay. Let's move on to the next question, 1.2. 1.2 says determine the coordinates of the midpoint of AB. So this is the formula for the midpoint. Make sure that you know all your formulas. So the formula for the midpoint, I think, is quite easy. You take the x coordinates, you divide them by 2. You take the y coordinates, you also divide them by 2. And that is the midpoint. So here we have xa, the x coordinate of point A, it's negative 5, plus the x coordinate of B, that is 4, all divided by 2. And then the y coordinate of A is 2, plus the y coordinate of B, that's negative 2, divide by 2 as well. And then you can just put this in your calculator and see what you get. Okay. So negative 5 plus 4, that's going to be negative 1 over 2. And then we have 2 plus negative 2, that's going to be 0. Okay, so you don't even need a calculator, I think. So this is the midpoint. So basically the midpoint is like the point in the middle of this line segment AB. Okay, so the midpoint is negative 1 over 2, 0. Let's move on to the next question. So for 1.3, we're asked to determine the gradient of the line AB. Again, you need to know the formula for finding the gradient. And this is the formula there. We have ya minus yb over xa minus xb. Just remember, y is on top, x is underneath. Remember, gradient is rise over run. So we will continue as we did with the other ones. Ya, there is 2 minus YB is negative 2 over XA is negative 5, XB is 4. Now we just work this out. This is going to become plus. So it's going to be 2 plus 2, that's 4. And then a negative 9 at the bottom. And so this is the gradient. The gradient is negative 4 over 9. That is the gradient. Now we move on to the next question. It says point A undergoes a certain transformation to a point A prime such that the gradient of the line A prime B becomes undefined. So this point A, what we are told is it undergoes something. It moves, left or right, up or down, and then the gradient of the line becomes undefined. Now, when do we have a gradient being undefined? That would be if we were dividing by 0. Say, for whatever reason, maybe it was a point 2 minus 2. Remember, we cannot divide by 0. So in a case like this, it would be undefined. So if x at the bottom there, the x coordinates there, becomes 0, then the gradient is undefined. Now remember from the previous question, we had the gradient there was negative 4 over 9. So remember, for this gradient to be undefined, then the denominator there needs to be 0. So we already know that the gradient is 4 over 9. So then there's a shift on the horizontal shift. And it's going to be minus 9. So if it's minus 9 there, we get a 0. The gradient becomes undefined. So what is the transformation then? The transformation is a horizontal we have a horizontal transformation 9 units to the right. Remember, we are subtracting a positive 9, so we're moving to the right. So that is the transformation. And the x coordinates, remember, they move horizontally. So that's why it's a horizontal. Okay, that's the last question, and then we'll do question 2 in another video. You can like, comment. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, and we will continue with question 2.